Okay, so you want to build like Erling Haaland. You see him sprinting past defenders like they're standing still, bullying 6 foot defenders with ease, and scoring goals almost every single week. But here's the interesting part. Most people think his body is simply the result of lifting heavy weights and drinking protein shakes. That's a comforting story because it makes the answer seem easy. Just copy his workout, buy the same supplements, and eventually you'll look like him. But that's not how the human body works. In fact, if you copied every single workout Holland did for the next year, there's a very good chance you still wouldn't build a physique like his. Why? Because what makes elite athletes look the way they do has very little to do with what most people notice. There's invisible factors at play. Things like genetics, muscle fiber composition, nervous system efficiency, recovery, and years of athletic development. And once you understand those factors, you'll stop chasing impossible expectations and start building the best version of your own body. So let's break down the real science behind Erling Haaland's physique, what you can actually copy, and what you should completely ignore. The first thing you need to understand is that you're not looking at a bodybuilder. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make. A bodybuilder trains to maximize muscle size, symmetry, and definition. An elite footballer like Haaland trains to maximize performance. His muscles aren't there because they look impressive on Instagram. They're there because they help him accelerate faster, jump higher, absorb contact, and repeat explosive movements for 90 minutes. Every pound of muscle on his body has a job. That's why his physique looks athletic rather than oversized. If he carried an extra 20 pounds of unnecessary muscle, he might actually become slower and less efficient on the field. His goal isn't to impress a mirror, it's to dominate a football match. And that's a completely different mindset. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Have you ever wondered why some people seem naturally explosive? Why one person can jump higher, sprint faster, and produce incredible power even before they spent years in the gym? Part of the answer lies in something called muscle fiber types. Your muscles contain different kinds of fibers, but the two big categories are slow twitch and fast twitch fibers. Slow twitch fibers are great for endurance. They help marathon runners keep going for hours. Fast twitch fibers are built for speed, power, and explosive movement. They're the fibers that fire when you sprint, jump, or explode into a tackle. Elite athletes in sports like football, sprinting, basketball, and American football often have a naturally higher percentage of fast twitch fibers. Genetics play a role here, and that's something no workout can completely change. But here's the good news. You can train the fast twitch fibers you already have. Sprinting, jumping, heavy compound lifts, and explosive exercises all help recruit and strengthen these powerful muscle fibers. This brings us to one of the biggest myths in fitness. Many people think the secret to looking athletic is spending more hours lifting weights. In reality, athletic physiques are built by teaching the body how to produce force efficiently. That's where your nervous system comes in. Every time you move, your brain sends signals through your nervous system to your muscles. The better this communication becomes, the more muscle fibers you can activate at once. Think of it like upgrading the software instead of just making the hardware bigger. That's why elite athletes spend so much time practicing explosive movements instead of endlessly chasing bigger biceps. Their bodies become incredibly efficient at turning strength into speed, and that's something most gym goers completely overlook. Now, we'll be exploring why genetics aren't the whole story, what Haaland likely does in training and recovery that most people ignore, the biggest mistakes people make when trying to build an athletic physique, and a practical blueprint you can actually follow without trying to become a copy of someone else. But before you start thinking, well, it's all genetics, so what's the point? Let me stop you right there. Genetics absolutely matter, but they're not the full story. Think about it this way. Genetics decide the size of your canvas, but your daily habits decide the masterpiece you paint on it. Erling Haaland was born with certain advantages. He's around 6'4", has long limbs, broad shoulders, and the frame that naturally suits elite football. You can't change your height. You can't change your bone structure. You can't decide where your muscles attach to your bones. Those things are largely predetermined before you're even born. But here's what you can control: how much muscle you build, how lean you become, how strong you get, how explosive you move, and how healthy your body stays over the next 10 or 20 years. The problem is that social media convinces people they're either destined to look exactly like their favorite athlete or they'll never achieve anything. The truth lies somewhere in the middle. You may never become Erling Haaland, but you can absolutely become the strongest, fastest, and most athletic version of yourself. Now let's talk about something that almost nobody pays attention to: movement quality. Watch Haaland play for just 5 minutes. Notice how effortlessly he changes direction, how quickly he accelerates, and how balanced he stays even when defenders are trying to push him off the ball. That's not just muscle, that's years of training his body to move efficiently. Mobility, balance, coordination, stability, and flexibility all work together behind the scenes. Unfortunately, many people spend years chasing bigger muscles while completely ignoring how their body actually moves. They can bench press impressive numbers, but struggle to squat with good form or sprint without feeling stiff. A truly athletic physique isn't just one that looks powerful, it's one that performs powerfully. If your muscles are growing but your movement's getting worse, you're moving further away from an athletic body, not closer to it. Another thing people underestimate is recovery. We love talking about workouts because they're exciting. Recovery isn't. Nobody gets millions of views by posting a picture of themselves sleeping for 8 hours. But recovery is where your body actually adapts. Every hard workout creates tiny amounts of damage in your muscles. During sleep, your body repairs that damage, strengthens the muscles, restores energy, and prepares you for the next training session. Without enough sleep, even the best workout program starts falling apart. That's one reason elite athletes treat sleep almost like another training session. Many of them aim for consistent, high-quality sleep, manage stress carefully, and avoid training hard every single day. They understand that progress doesn't happen while lifting weights. It happens while recovering from lifting weights. If you're sleeping 5 hours a night, skipping rest days, and wondering why your body isn't changing, the answer might not be in your gym routine at all. Then there's nutrition. And no, I'm not talking about some magical superfood or expensive supplement stack. The internet loves selling shortcuts, but elite physiques are usually built on boring consistency. Eating enough high-quality protein to support muscle repair, getting enough carbohydrates to fuel intense training, including healthy fats to support hormones and overall health, staying hydrated, eating plenty of fruits and vegetables for vitamins, minerals, and recovery. It's not flashy, but it works. The biggest mistake people make is looking for one miracle food while ignoring the hundreds of ordinary meals that actually shape their body over months and years. Haaland's physique wasn't built by one perfect breakfast. It was built by thousands of disciplined choices made day after day. And here's something that often surprises people. If your only goal in the gym is to make every muscle as big as possible, you may actually reduce some aspects of athletic performance. That's because athletes train for a balance of strength, speed, endurance, mobility, coordination, and power. Bodybuilders optimize mainly for muscle size. Neither approach is better, they simply serve different goals. If your dream physique is inspired by athletes like Erling Haaland, Cristiano Ronaldo, or elite sprinters, then your training should reflect that. Strength training should absolutely be part of your routine, but it should be combined with sprint work, jumping exercises, conditioning, mobility, and movement drills. In other words, don't just train your muscles, train your body to use those muscles efficiently. So before you ask, what's Haaland's workout, maybe ask a better question. What principles does Haaland's body follow? Because workouts change every season. Every coach has different methods and every athlete adapts over time. But the principles stay remarkably consistent. Build strength, develop explosive power, move well, recover properly, eat consistently, stay lean enough to perform at your best, and above all, train with a purpose instead of randomly collecting exercises from social media. Those principles are available to everyone, whether you're 16, 30, or 50 years old. Now we'll put all of this together into a practical blueprint. I'll show you the biggest mistakes that keep people from ever building an athletic physique, the habits worth stealing from elite athletes, and a simple training approach that helps you look and, more importantly, perform like an athlete without trying to become someone you're not. So if you've made it this far, you already know something that most people scrolling through fitness content don't. Building an athletic body isn't about copying someone's exact workout. It's about understanding why they train the way they do. And honestly, that's where most people get stuck. They see a clip of Haaland doing sled pushes, heavy squats, or sprint drills and immediately think that's the secret. But the exercise itself isn't the secret. The secret is understanding the purpose behind it. Every drill, every sprint, every lift has one job: to make him a better football player. His physique is simply a byproduct of training for elite performance. That's a powerful lesson because it changes how you should think about your own fitness journey. Instead of asking, what exercise builds bigger legs, start asking, what makes my legs stronger, faster, and more capable? That small shift in mindset changes everything. Now, let's talk about the mistakes that keep most people from ever building an athletic physique. The first mistake is chasing exhaustion instead of progress. Somewhere along the way, people started believing that if they aren't completely destroyed after every workout, then the workout wasn't effective. So they train until they can barely walk, repeat it the next day, and wonder why they feel tired all the time. Elite athletes don't train to feel exhausted. They train to improve performance. Some days are incredibly hard, but other days are lighter because recovery is part of the plan. Your body doesn't care how much you suffer. It responds to smart, consistent training over time. The second mistake is ignoring cardiovascular fitness. Many people think cardio will somehow kill their gains, so they avoid it completely. But look at almost any elite athlete. They can produce explosive power repeatedly without falling apart because their heart and lungs are incredibly well conditioned. Good cardiovascular fitness helps you recover faster between sets, improves your endurance during workouts, and even supports your overall health. You don't need to spend hours running on a treadmill every day, but avoiding cardio altogether is like building a powerful engine and then refusing to put fuel in the tank. The third mistake is becoming obsessed with aesthetics alone. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. Most of us enjoy seeing progress in the mirror. But if looking good becomes your only goal, you'll often make choices that don't improve how your body actually functions. You might skip leg day because arms are more visible. You might avoid mobility work because it's not exciting. You might never sprint because it doesn't give you a pump. Over time, you end up with muscles that look impressive in photos, but struggle with real-world performance. An athletic body should be able to do athletic things. Looking good should be a bonus, not the only objective. So, what should your blueprint actually look like? Keep it simple. Train for strength with compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, presses, rows, and pull-ups. Add explosive work through short sprints, jumps, or medicine ball throws. Include mobility so your joints move freely and efficiently. Do some conditioning every week to build endurance. Eat enough protein to support muscle growth. Plenty of whole foods to fuel recovery. And stay consistent instead of chasing perfection. Most importantly, give your body enough sleep because that's when all the adaptation happens. None of these habits are revolutionary on their own. Their real power comes from doing them consistently for months and years, not just a few motivated weeks. And here's probably the most important takeaway from this entire video. Stop trying to become Erling Haaland. That might sound strange after everything we've talked about, but hear me out. The world already has one Erling Haaland. It doesn't need another. What it needs is the strongest, healthiest, most athletic version of you. Comparing yourself to elite athletes can be inspiring, but it becomes destructive when you expect to duplicate a body that was shaped by unique genetics, a lifetime of specialized training, and a career built around professional sport. Your goal shouldn't be to copy someone else's body. It should be to unlock your own potential. Because at the end of the day, fitness isn't about winning the genetic lottery. It's about making the most of the body you already have. Every workout, every healthy meal, every good night's sleep, and every small decision is like casting a vote for the person you're becoming. You may never play in front of 80,000 fans or score goals in the Champions League, but you can wake up stronger than you were last month. You can move better. You can have more energy. You can build confidence that doesn't come from filters or perfect lighting, but from knowing you've put in the work. And that's something no one, not even Erling Haaland, can do for you. So, the next time you watch Haaland sprint past defenders and wonder, how do I build a body like that? Remember, the answer isn't hidden in one workout, one supplement, or one secret routine. It's hidden in the principles. Train with purpose, move like an athlete, recover like a professional, eat like someone who respects their body, and stay consistent long after the excitement wears off. Do that, and maybe you won't become the next Erling Haaland, but you'll become someone far more important. The absolute best version of yourself. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover the real science behind the world's most impressive physiques, hit that subscribe button because this series is just getting started. In the next episode, we're breaking down another iconic athlete to separate fitness myths from real science. Until then, keep training smart, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.